News weather forecast special report, tropical wave, Gabrielle, and cold front in the United States. Good day to all our viewers tuning into the weather forecast news bulletin. Today, we bring you a special feature, tracking a highly potential tropical wave in the Atlantic Ocean, which has a strong chance of becoming the next named storm of the season. With the expected name, Gabrielle. This is the current focal point for international meteorological agencies as well as millions of residents across the Caribbean and the U.S. East Coast. What unfolds over the next 1 to 2 weeks may determine whether this tropical wave remains an offshore phenomenon, or evolves into a genuine threat to lives and property. At the same time, the U.S. mainland is preparing for a refreshing blast of cooler air, a welcome relief after the summer heat. Yet one that may also interact with offshore systems in noteworthy ways. We will break all of this down in detail today, offering you the clearest and most comprehensive picture. First, let us turn our eyes to the entire Atlantic Basin. On satellite imagery, the so-called main development region, stretching from the west coast of Africa all the way to the Caribbean, stands out. This is the storm highway, where the biggest and most powerful hurricanes of the season are born. Right at this peak moment, a tropical wave has taken shape in this very region. From satellite views, one can clearly observe a cluster of convective clouds that is gradually becoming organized, steadily moving westward. Unlike the scattered clouds around it, this wave has a concentrated convective core, signaling a high probability of further development in the coming days. According to meteorological agencies, it is likely that in the short term this system will be tagged with an invest designation. This step allows forecast centers to deploy more resources, run denser model simulations, and conduct more detailed observations. If upgraded, the system would typically evolve into a tropical depression, then a tropical storm. Whether it strengthens further depends heavily on environmental conditions, sea surface temperatures, mid-level moisture, and most crucially, upper-level wind patterns. Now comes the most intriguing part, the forecast models. Remember, models are not the final forecast, but tools to understand potential trends. At present, international models are showing divergent results. A cluster of European models suggests the wave will remain weak for the first 48 to 72 hours, then intensify rapidly early next week. Some scenarios even project the center passing near the Leeward and Virgin Islands in 6 to 8 days, reaching Category 1 or 2 hurricane strength. Conversely, a group of American models maintains a slower development, nudging the system slightly northward, with strengthening only once it encounters deeper warm waters in the northwestern MDR. Notably, AI-driven and ICON models outline more extreme possibilities. Either the system dissipates quickly under strong shear, or, if conditions align, intensifies into a robust hurricane. A key detail in recent runs is that the convective cluster has shifted slightly south compared to a day or two ago. This seemingly minor adjustment holds big implications. Moving at lower latitudes may allow the system to dodge the shear zone associated with the tropical upper tropospheric trough, TUT, to the north. Escaping shear gives the tropical wave breathing room to consolidate its core and lower surface pressures, thus increasing the odds of becoming Hurricane Gabrielle. At 200 hectopascals, roughly 12 kilometers aloft, the TUT appears as a swirling blue trough, producing strong dry westerly winds. A tropical system brushing its southern edge tends to have its convection ripped apart. By contrast, if the system tracks farther south, avoiding the shear zone, it gains a far better chance to develop a stable center. This is a crucial factor in determining the fate of this wave. Another equally critical factor is the subtropical high. Imagine these as massive air walls over the central Atlantic and near North America. Initially, the southern flank of this ridge steers the tropical wave almost straight west or west-northwest. Around days 6 to 8, a potential weakness may open between two ridges. If so, the system could turn the corner northward, but should the high rebuild quickly, sealing off the gap, the wave would be forced farther west, raising risks for the Caribbean or the Bahamas. This open-close door dynamic is why forecast scenarios between 8 to 12 days out swing so wildly from run to run. Ensemble forecasts, where multiple runs are made with slightly varied inputs, paint a clearer spread of possibilities. Development signals are indeed present, with more members trending towards strengthening over time. A significant subset steers the track toward the Leeward and Virgin Islands within 7 to 10 days. Some peel the system northward early, while others stubbornly push it westward under the high, into the Caribbean or Bahamas. Thus, the question, will it make landfall, cannot yet be answered. What we can say with confidence, the development window over the next 1 to 2 weeks is open. And this wave demands close monitoring. For residents in the Leeward Islands, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, and the Bahamas, the clear message is, monitor daily updates this week and review your family's hurricane preparedness plans. Essentials like drinking water, dry food, backup batteries, medication, and key documents should be ready. Coastal low-lying residents must know evacuation sites. For those along the U.S. East Coast, uncertainty remains high. The best course is to follow updates from official authorities. While the Atlantic grows active, the U.S. mainland braces for cooler air. Medium-range climate maps show below-average temperatures across the Great Lakes, Midwest, Appalachians, and down the mid-Atlantic coast. Residents will notice a refreshing drop in humidity, with dew points falling into the 50s degree F, bringing crisp, dry air after oppressive summer heat. Still, this cooling doesn't guarantee a hurricane shield. Large-scale atmospheric interactions are more complex. A strong front may help steer storms out to sea. But much depends on timing, placement, and the subtropical ridge's strength. Now, today's quick weather outlook. In the Northeast and New England, a frontal system sweeps through with scattered showers, a few thunderstorms, and gusty winds. Temperatures drop by evening. Across the Midwest and Great Lakes, northern rains push southward, ushering in an autumn-like chill. Lake area residents should watch for strong winds. In the southeast and mid-Atlantic, 1 or 2 storm lines may pop this evening before drier air takes over. In the southwest, tropical moisture fuels widespread rainfall, raising flash flood risks across southern Arizona and California. Local residents should heed flood advisories. Meanwhile, the Pacific Northwest interior and mountain zones enjoy warm, dry weather, though wildfire risk increases with widespread dry grass. Common viewer questions also deserve answers. When will we know more about this wave's path? The answer: once it forms a defined center, earns an INVEST designation, and gets aircraft reconnaissance and higher resolution satellite data, usually within 24 to 72 hours. Could the cool front push the storm away? Possibly, if it arrives at the right time and strength to open a weakness. But if the ridge rebuilds quickly, the wave will likely be forced westward. Meteorology is the science of probabilities. We should not cling to every extreme model frame, but instead follow the evolving trends with steady updates. We will continue tracking this tropical wave from the MDR until clearer signals emerge about its trajectory and strength. If you find this bulletin helpful, please like, subscribe, and enable notifications so you don't miss future updates. Where are you watching from? Leeward, Virgin, Bahamas, or the U.S. East Coast? Leave a comment, and we'll aim to include local forecasts in upcoming reports. Before closing, allow me to share a note of faith. Pray for good things at the right time. Sometimes what we hope for is delayed not because it's denied, but because we need more time to grow strong enough to receive it. In this unpredictable hurricane season, careful preparation, calm action, and a peaceful heart will be the keys to resilience. Thank you for watching. Wishing you peace, hope, and safety, and we'll see you in the next bulletin.